Does a very good job around here. It'll slash anything that we've got around here. It's a 40 horsepower slasher. Unfortunately, we only have a 20 horsepower tractor, so we'll never break the slasher itself. We have destroyed a gearbox because people got stuff caught under the bottom seal and let all the oil out. It gets grass caught under there, so from time to time, if you're using this thing, check to make sure there's no grass caught or worse, wire caught underneath. That does happen. We do tend to get bits of wire floating around here, and if they get caught under there, it can damage the bottom seal, and it costs us $400 and something, I think, was the new gearbox. But anyway, that's only happened once, and it will happen. Unfortunately, it's a fact of life with these sorts of things in such a harsh environment. Now, with the tractor, with this thing, we have the drawbars, which are these two things here, which are the ones that actually hold the slasher in place. They're the ones that raise it up and down. That's the 3-point link, which is called PTO, and we have a PTO on there, which drives the slasher head. We also have these two stabiliser bars on there, which have to be put on to stop the thing swinging in the breeze, because these ones, in the situation, would just swing around and makes it rather dangerous. So I made these ones up to stabilise the thing. Also, with the slasher, we use this chain on top. Most tractors have a solid drawbar there when you're using the thing in there, which is the carry-all. You put the solid drawbar on because it's going up and down. Or if you're using a plough, it needs a solid drawbar to use as a control in there that controls how the tractor works. We don't need that on this. This thing is dragged up and down the ground. If it goes up and down all the humps and hollows, it tends to try and work that machine, which the tractor doesn't like. So we just use this piece of chain. A lot of people didn't use the chain, unfortunately, but it causes a few problems. Now, with the chain on there, you're not going to break that piece of chain. It's only there just to hold the slasher off the ground if you're travelling around. Once you're actually using it, you leave it on the ground and drag it, unless you're going through heavy grass where you might lift it up a foot or so just to take 2 goes at it. Now, I'll start the tractor.
So it's designed to slide.
It's designed to slide on the skids. That's what it's for.
If the grass is, if you're looking for a low cut.
Now, if you just come round this side of the
how long to get out of
thing, you will see there's a slight little hole in the side of the slasher. That's what happens when it throws things. That's at least 3/16 steel, and it's punched a hole through the side of it. So this is a dangerous machine. If you are using it, you make sure that there's nobody else around you for a good few yards. In fact, you should be about the only one in the paddock. Don't worry too much about the horses. This is the boss. This comes in the paddock, they get out of the way. They won't stay around when this thing's mowing. They don't like the noise and the smell, and if they do, drive at them or whatever. If you're only doing 5 miles an hour, they can get out of the way. But be warned that if you do hit things, it can throw stuff a long way and can hurt you. So make sure that there's no children or other people.
And how do you lift the slasher to check that it's not fouled up?
Well, I'll do that right now.
Before we do the quick, I also talked about cleaning it off.
Yes.
And the need to keep the tyres away from branches.
Yes.
Because we have got a few bits of wood jammed in between.
We have a few bits of wood jammed in the tyre because people have gone too close to small trees and tried to drive it through the side of the tyres. Yeah, when you've finished using it, if you would please, you usually find the cutter deck is full of grass cuttings. Just spend a minute or two just to clean it off, just to get rid of it. Because if you don't, this is what all this rust is all about. Wet grass holds a lot of water and it sits on there and it will rust it out. So basically just go through it and just clean it out. Actually that's good stuff because it's full of seed, and if you put it on the bare patches it might help grow it. So that's it, that's before you put it away in the shed. So just clean it. Same goes with the ride-on mower. If you can, just knock off any grass off the cutting deck, just to keep it, if it's dry it's not too much of a problem, it'll blow off again, but if it's wet, that can reduce the life of this thing by half. Now, to check the blades underneath, never get underneath this thing when it's raised up without putting something under there. You can get down on all fours and look underneath, but don't be like a fool like me one day that went under there to clear stuff off there, and the thing says, I don't like holding onto this thing, and let go. Fortunately, I managed to get out of it, but I'm learning, and I was lucky. And it's not that heavy, so if it did fall on me, it would trap you. It probably wouldn't kill you in that situation, but it'd be very embarrassing. You'd be stuck there for several hours till somebody helped you.
So always carry your mobile phone in your pocket.
This thing eats mobile phones. We have had one person here who had a mobile phone in his pocket while he was slashing. The only thing he got back was the SIM card. That's the problem.
Not just one,
It's eating. Oh, I only heard about one. Anyway,
Park brake and bits and pieces.
right, on the right-hand side of the tractor, like the normal park brake that you have, there's a little dog tool here. When you want to start the tractor, oops, sorry, put it in gear, because I'm going to take it. If I don't do that, it might roll over the. Well, it can't because it's got that. Click on there. It's now out of the brake's off. Put the brake on. You basically just stand on that as hard as you can and push the pull back into place. And that's the safety braking gauge. It won't slip in that situation, but you basically put your full weight on it, stand on it, and then lean down and clip it on. Okay.
With braking, other thing that I've noticed, and I've heard others talk about it, compared with the car, the brakes aren't that effective. So if it's still in gear and running, you putting your foot on the foot brake is not going to make a lot of difference. Knock it into neutral.
Knock it, yeah. So the best thing is
to take it from the clutch at least.
Yeah. If you're going to come up to a gateway or something like that, if you can't park it on, so it's basically even on the side of the hill. So if it's facing up and down the hill, the safest method with this tractor is turn the engine off, leave it in gear, open the gate and go up that way. Otherwise it will get away from you. It's an old tractor, the brakes are okay. If you're in trouble with this machine, if you want to stop in a hurry, you have two pedals. You've got this one, which is your brake pedal, and you've got the clutch pedal on the other side. You basically stand on both of those. I mean stand. Don't leave your bum on the seat, you stand on it. And you're putting 8 or 9, 60 to 100 and something kilos on the brakes. In that situation, things will stop very, very quickly. You've got brakes, the brakes in here are flipping over 2 foot in diameter. They're good solid brakes. When they stop, when you stop, they'll stop.
I had a very